with the next session, which is IPRS, driving copyright in the music industry and its role in the media and entertainment industry. We have Rumpa Banerjee. She's head marketing and communications and member relations at the Indian Performing Rights Society. Rumpa has an extensive career spanning diverse domains in the media and entertainment industry, with proven experience in communications, brand management, and marketing. In conversation with Parag Kamani, who is a leading music consultant. Parag is a media and entertainment industry professional with over 27 years of experience. I'd like to welcome them both on stage.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Okay. Just a quick question before I start. Any music composers or lyricists over here? Publishers. Good enough, because this session is of course most crucial because of these three entities. And of course publishing survives because of the lyricists and composers. But I think keeping in mind the changes that have taken place through the years, two aspects. One was the 2012 amendment to the Copyright Act, and of course changing technology, which includes artificial intelligence. I think these things are going to really impact the present and future movement as far as protection of rights are concerned, and to ensure also that royalties go out to the people who have actually created content. So it's going to be a challenge, but I think we have I have a lot of respect for IPRS, and Rumpa would be the right person to share with us a lot of thoughts. So I'm going to go in with a set questionnaire, but I think equally important is to allocate sufficient time for question and answers, okay? Because there are a lot of things that IPRS has been doing, is being doing, but it's not really, people are not aware of it, okay? So let me just start off, Rumpa. It's a pleasure being with you. I'd like you to just make a brief background or history as far as IPRS is concerned. What does it stand for and what does it do?
Thank you, Paragji. And thank you, Nunberg Messi, for this excellent opportunity. And today we are at Context 2023. Why this panel or this discussion is so significant? We have multiple forums, panels, discussions around content, how to make content, what is the future of content. But rarely we speak about how to protect the content, and as creators, how to make most from the content that you are making, how to protect it and safeguard your rights. So glad to be on this stage, and I'm really humbled to share the stage with Paragji, who is himself a stalwart in the industry, and he can guide all of you around the copyright and all. So coming back to IPRS, the Indian Performing Rights Society Limited, better known as IPRS, is a music copyright society. So actually IPRS was founded in 1969. So today we are in the 54th year of the society, but as Paragji rightly mentioned, there is very lack of awareness about what IPRS is or what a music copyright society stands for. And we are extensively working towards that. In 1969, a handful of creators, they realized the importance of protecting the rights of the creators, because back then, the music industry was dominated by the film industry. Music or songs were primarily made for the films. So no one ever thought of that beyond the films, if the music is used, how will the creator be paid? Will it be one-time payment, hire and pay? And after the movie is released, the entire thing will be managed by the music labels or the producers? Nobody thought about those during that time because the need was not there. But 1990 onwards, when other platforms came into being, you had the private television channels, the private FM channels, then digital boom started happening post-2000. Then when creators really understood the importance of copyright, the importance and significance of a body like IPRS, and under the kind of leadership and the like all the initiatives taken by Javed Akhtar Sahab and his fellow creators, they reached out to the government of India. And in 2012, the landmark amendment in the Copyright Act happened, which changed the entire landscape of music copyright and the benefits that a creator holds in his creation. So today, IPRS, or since 1969, IPRS has been a representative body of author, composers, and publishers. Its sole objective, or the primary objective of IPRS, has been to ensure that copyright in music is respected. All of us who make music, who love music, who play music, we respect copyright so that the author, composers, and publishers, they get their due credits and royalties. As well as IPRS also ensures that all music users can legally play music. So we cater to two very distinct pillars of the music industry. On one end is the creators whose rights, credits we safeguard. On the other end, we are also there to help all music users to legally play music. We are not saying that nobody wants to pay for license, but who shows the way to them, helping them to legally play music. So IPRS is a body who is there to do it for them.
No, thanks so much for giving us this background. Rumpa, I'd like you to also share what are the kind of platforms that are being monitored by IPRS, because right now music can be consumed on television, on OTT platforms, on radio, live performances, in restaurants, etc., etc., etc. Can you just share with us what are the platforms that are being monitored?
A very good question. So actually, IPRS is managing the publishing rights of a song. So for example, when a song is made, there are two aspects to the song. One is the song, which is the master, and that is the sound recording. But it's like we always say, it's like a bengan bharta. When you go to a restaurant, you eat the bengan bharta, but the bengan bharta is made of bengan and the other ingredients. So earlier, people used to only pay for sound recording or the song. But so how will a song be made if there is no lyrics and composition, and who takes care of that? Because the sound recording rights are, in most instances, held by the producer or the music label. Then when the song is playing, why is the lyricist and the composer getting deprived? So that is where IPRS come into being. When you play music, you need to pay for the sound recording rights. So you take a license for sound recording. You also need to take a license for the underlying works, which we say the underlying works, and that is the publishing side of the music business. So IPRS is a representative body which is protecting the rights of creators for the underlying works, that is the lyrics and the composition. And wherever music is playing, anyone playing music commercially in any platform should take a music license. So starting from your mass media platforms like television, radio, or live events. In India, there are so many live events, pubs, spa, everywhere. Wherever there is a music playing, a person who is playing music needs to take a license from IPRS. Now there has been a big shift towards the digital platforms. And they have now become one of the primary revenue sources for societies like IPRS. Last year, when we ended the year, 60% or 65% of our revenue came from the digital streaming platforms. The remaining were from the other sources of revenue. So wherever music is playing, suppose you are playing music, say, on this mobile phone where the caller tune is playing, even the telecom operators, they need to take a license for playing that music. For any commercial use, any form, on any medium, a license needs to be procured. But there is one thing to it which I need to clear here, because I think you have seen a lot of news going, making rounds, around weddings. Wedding is a live event or a function. But the copyright law has exempted weddings from music licenses. And from this stage, I would like to make it very clear, because there has been a lot of confusion around this. People don't know, and they have blamed IPRS for taking license in wedding functions. We don't do that. Wedding and other functions related to wedding, IPRS, you don't need to take an IPRS license. Anyone coming to you asking for a license or charging you for a license, you should deny and say no, and reach out to IPRS directly. Rest all places, please take a license.
Okay, that's wonderful, providing clarity as far as weddings are concerned. It's some part and parcel of our lives. And as you correctly said, that if you aren't aware of the law, then people tend to take advantage in terms of billing you for that. Now, when you spoke about royalties, can you give us a brief indication? Because, like you said, you represent lyricists, you represent composers and publishers. If there is, let's say, 100 rupees that is payable by IPRS, how would it get divided between these three parties, three bodies?
Very interesting question. So our law believes in equal share, fair share of like royalties. So whenever like a money is collected, suppose as Paragji said, if 100 rupees has been collected, so 50% or like 50 rupees will go to the publisher. So publisher is a person who, so in India, like many music labels, they are the publisher who are managing the rights of the content. They are helping to promote the content, release the content, distribute the content, or make more, like creating more opportunities for the creator, like from the lyrics and the composition. So 50 rupees goes to the publisher. 25 will go to the lyricist or the author who has written the lyrics, and 25 will go to the composer. So 50, 25, 25, that is the regular split of royalties. Now, for example, if there is a duo, then what happens? Like a lot of composers, like Kalyanji Anandji, Lakshmikant Pyarelal. So in that situation, that 25 which was going to the composer will be equally split between the two composers, 12.5, 12.5. If there is a trio, like Shankar Ehsaan Loy, again, that 25 will get equally split. Nowadays, you have multiple creators. You have a rapper, you have a lyricist, you have some person writing a portion of the song. So as many parties are there to the song, you can have the split equally done, or when you are submitting the metadata, that's a very crucial part of your music in today's digital world. So today we don't have a physical form of music. Everything is on the cloud, on digital platforms. So anyone creating music, from the creator to the publisher or the label, they need to ensure that the metadata is perfect. So when you are, so the metadata comprises of all the details pertaining to the song. So when you are submitting the metadata to your distributor or to your streaming platforms or to IPRS, as a group of creators, you can specify the split also. If you want one composer to get a kind of like a bigger share of the royalty, you can mention that. If not mentioned, then then the split is equal.
Okay, that's nice. And Rumpa, I also wanted to ask you, you correctly said that because of everything going digital, there are no borders right now. So how does IPRS monitor? Does it monitor only the revenues that are generated in India? Does it monitor revenues that are generated outside the country? How does it work?
Yeah. So like with digital proliferation, so what has happened is that your music is now across the globe. We have like you will have your fan base in different foreign nationals, like foreign countries also. Then how does one monitor that if your music is playing, say, in US or in UK or in Australia or any other country? So the best part of a copyright society is like IPRS is that IPRS is also part of CISAC. So CISAC is an international governing body of music copyright societies. So there are 228 copyright societies from 119 countries, which is governed by CISAC, and IPRS is also a member of CISAC. So what happens when you become a member of CISAC, you have reciprocal arrangements with all these 228 sister societies across the globe. Now, so for example, you have, say, BMI in US, or you have ASCAP in US, you have SOCAN in Canada, you have PRS in UK, you have APRA MCOS in Australia, New Zealand, you have SACEM in France. So suppose if your music is playing, say, in UK, then what happens? PRS is monitoring that play of your music in that territory. They will collect the royalty from that territory, and they will pay to IPRS to pay back to its members. Similarly, if a person is a member of SOCAN, then IPRS will kind of monitor and collect the royalties for that artist in Indian territory, pay it to SOCAN to pay back to the member of SOCAN. So that we can efficiently monitor and collect the royalties of all creators across the globe, CSAC and the affiliate societies, this has formed a very strong chain of copyright management organization, which is not only restricted to a country, but it's globally.
Fabulous. And similarly, I also wanted to ask, we have so many global players in India right now, right? Simple examples like YouTube or Spotify, you have your Apple, so on and so forth. Now, each of these bodies are global bodies. So they have their Indian offices, and obviously they have offices in several other countries around the world. So what kind of relationship or association or arrangement do you have with these global players to ensure that there is, a long-term fair share agreement for whatever is being deployed on their platforms for composers, lyricists, and publishers, both in India and globally?
So the best part of the foreign body, like the foreign entities who are operational in India, say an YouTube or the Meta platforms, Spotify, like majority of them are very compliant. So the digital boom or the boom in the revenue that we have seen in IPRS, a major chunk of our revenue comes from YouTube. So we have been able to kind of come into great, all these licensing deals with all these foreign entities so that all the music that is playing on their platform is correctly monetized and that money is paid back to our members. So the main thing, so the starting point is having a very effective licensing deal. So there is no flat rate that if YouTube is in India, this is the rate, this is everybody knows. It's not like that. It all depends on how the society has been able to crack the deal with that platform. And it kind of happens across the country and in different countries. So in India, our licensing team, they have been able to crack these deals which will benefit the Indian creators. So now YouTube, Meta, Spotify, all these foreign players, Apple Music, they are all on IPRS and they are paying IPRS for the content that is playing on that platform. But for that, what we need to do is that we have to ensure that all our members, they are registering their songs and their metadata properly with IPRS. Today, millions of songs are being uploaded on Spotify, on YouTube, on these platforms. A lot of user-generated content is happening on the social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and in the form of Reels. But all this can be mapped and the money can be paid back to the right holder if the data is correct. So on one end, for example, one end is important when the content creator is uploading the content. Suppose today the content creators, they go through different distribution platforms, say Believe, TuneCore, Orchard, CD Baby. So when, as a content right holder, you're submitting the content to your distributor, you have to ensure that the correct metadata is given to the distributor. Now when the distributor has further shared the content with all the streaming platforms, then the creator has to again go back, or the publisher has to again go back and check whether the credits are properly mentioned on the platforms or not. So now we know that the data and the song is available on these platforms. Now they have to also come back as a publisher and a content creator and register those songs correctly at IPRS's end also. So once the song is playing, the log comes to IPRS. IPRS will now then map that playout of the songs happening on those platforms with the data that is in our repertoire. After that is matched, basis per streaming, per view, ad revenue, it kind of varies from platform to platform. Then that money is then, there is a kind of lot of billions, so like we say billion lines of data are mapped, so like trillion lines of data are mapped to generate millions of revenues. So those things are happening at the back end, like obviously backed by technology, and then the money flows back to the right, the person who has made the song. So we need a lot of kind of partnership, collaboration, and like a similar mindset that we all want to have a fair share of revenues, fair play of music, and at the most, and it's most important that the data is correct, the metadata is correct across platforms. Like on YouTube, you yourself upload the content, and we have seen in a lot of markets, very casually the credits are mentioned on, so when you open on YouTube you open a song, you see the credits mentioned. And it's very important that each party associated with the song is correctly credited and mentioned. So if that is not there, then your song is lost. You have lost your right on your song because your credit is missing. So we have to all come together to ensure that.
No, so Rumpa, it's a very valid point that there's a connect between being a member and then providing the right metadata. Right. But Rumpa, what happens in a case if there is a non-member? Would those royalties still be somehow accounted for, but it's then not paid to either the publisher or composer or the lyricist simply because they are not members? Yes. Is that how that works?
Yeah. So it's a very good question you asked, Paragji. Because in India, we we are a population of 1.4 billion. I think it will now also grow further. But if you see at IPRS currently, we have a member base of 12,000, which is nothing, it's negligent. Because see, if you see Denmark, a country like Denmark whose population will be kind of like less than what is in Mumbai, they have a member base of 40,000. So like, does it mean that we don't have talent? We have like a lot of talent. But people don't realize that it's not just the money that you get when you make music or the money that you're getting from your now, like people are also getting money through their distributors from the like platforms directly. It's not that only, because that is sound recording. There are monies being made for your lyrics and the composition, which is a separate set of monies waiting to be paid for you. A lot of people also have this like a wrong conception, that if I join IPRS, maybe my money now coming to me from my digital platforms will stop. No. It will not stop, because that is for sound recording. And that is, and the one which is coming from IPRS is your publishing royalty. So these are two distinct entities, and the publishing royalty is also a very big amount if your song is popular. So more and more author, composers, publishers need to be aware of the publishing royalty and get registered with IPRS so that we can pay you the money. See, we are not a profit-making body. We are a non-profit organization. So we cannot take the money. Even if we are entitled to collect the money from the platforms, the platform will pay us. The publishing royalty, the platform will pay us. But we cannot take it ourselves and make castles for us if you are not a member and we keep the money and make 10, 12 IPRS houses across the country. We have to pay back the money to you. So a lot of times, Paragji, what we also do is that when we identify, suppose we have a team who is constantly monitoring which songs are trending, like isme paisa ban raha hai. The membership team, so the OTT team shares that data with the membership team. कि ये गाना ट्रेंड कर रहा है, ये पैसा बन रहा है, इसको देना है पैसा. So the membership team then searches for that member, कहाँ है ये publisher कहाँ है, and we reach out to the people saying that please become a member of IPRS, हमें कुछ देना है आपको. Then that person becomes very suspicious. What is your benefit? Why are you chasing me to become a member? I said, ये हमारा obligation है कि government ने हमें ये responsibility दिया है. We have to pay you this money. So monies are being made on your songs. It is very popular. You are missing out on your publishing royalties. Please join IPRS and take that money from us.
No, it's just fabulous to hear this, how proactive you are in following up with people saying that we have your monies, but we can't pay you till you seek membership. So I'm also actually, there's a little downside, and I'm a little disturbed that there are only 12,000 members as far as IPRS is concerned. So what is IPRS doing in creating awareness about the role that it plays in media and entertainment to ensure that that membership is built up? You know, are there workshops? Are you doing it on a pan-India basis? Can you just give us some
Yeah.
information about this?
Yeah. So immediately, so one thing which, like one good thing that happened was, like COVID has kind of was not good, I will say. It had a lot of, we know the kind of losses and like lives and everything happened. But I think it also changed the way we look at our work processes and everything. So during COVID, when things like took a, so our main work took a back step, like a back seat, we focused on things which we never did earlier. So then was a time when our members or the creator community, they were also not having too much to run around. So they were also patient and they were also looking forward to do something. So we took that opportunity and we started reaching out to our members, obviously online. And we had almost 2 years which we could focus on reaching out, talking to our members, connecting with them online. And then we realized that there's a lot of need gap. Because members, they are just busy creating music because unfortunately in a country like India, there is no social security for music creators and artists and anyone. So they have to kind of arrange for the money when they are at their peak. So they are running around ki kaise paisa banana hai. So they don't have time to understand all these legalities and the other aspects of the music industry. But during COVID, because they had that time, we started reaching out to them online and we started speaking to them. And we then saw that once they started hearing all of those, they also took keen interest in kind of like rectifying the things which were not right in terms of their data, all the information, understanding the copyright laws. So once the COVID was over, so we said, no, let's not restrict to our members only. Last year onwards, we started reaching out to creators pan-India. So wherever there is music happening, even we reached out to the folk artists of Rajasthan. Like a couple of months back, I had traveled to the northeast. I went to Dimapur and Kohima because there is a lot of music that is being made in those extreme parts of the country, and there is such good talent. But they are absolutely clueless about what is music copyright, how a copyright society can get them the money, because they are all busy doing like live events, concerts, and all. Like last year, like we had also gone to the Zero Festival. If you have not been to Zero Festival, it's a lifetime experience. Everyone should once visit that. It's wonderful. But the kind of music that is being made from every corner. So since then, we have been conducting regular workshops. We are also doing tie-ups and collaborations with music schools. Because it's better that you learn and then start your career. Because once you are in the market, you're making your music, learning in a kind of a bad, with a bad experience will not help you. So we are also now collaborating extensively with music schools. Like today I am here, Paragji is also one of that reason that wherever possible, I say even there are 10 people in the room, I don't mind. I will travel 2 hours, 3 hours, 10 hours to talk to them, because that 10 people will spread the word to 100 people, then 100 se 1,000 hoga, and the nation will be aware. The biggest ask today is everyone needs to know about copyright, need to know that there are rights. The copyright law has been amended in their favor. Our country has one of the strongest and the most effective copyright law to protect the creators. In foreign societies or in foreign lands, artists are now fighting against buyouts. I should not mention the platforms or the producers there who are pushing people to do that, but creators are being offered huge monies, but they are being told, you sign off your royalty rights. You will have no right to your content, from your ownership right to your royalty right. But because it is not covered in their copyright law, the artists are being forced or tempted to sign off the rights on their content. So tomorrow they will not have a continuous stream of income. So why royalty is so important? But in our copyright law, the law has given inalienable right to royalty to the creators. That means even if you write off your royalty rights, in the court of law that is invalid. That contract will be null and void. A lot of creators, they come and ask us that I was working with that producer, or I went to a radio station, the radio station told me to sign and give that I will not claim my royalty. We say, go ahead and sign it. Because even if you sign a contract, That is null and void. Nobody, if you're a member of IPRS, and if IPRS is collecting the royalty from the radio station, nobody can stop you from getting the royalty from IPRS. So we are protecting your rights. There is no one coming in between you and your royalty. Because if you have even signed a contract with, say, a radio station or any producer or anyone, if IPRS is going and collecting royalty for that content or for that music, the royalty will automatically flow back to you. That is the power that our copyright law has given to the creators. But the creators are not aware, the publishers are not aware. So they are not signing up with IPRS, becoming members of IPRS to get the benefit of the law that is in their favor. So hence, our focus is to build as much awareness, both for the creators and the consumers. Because there's also a lot of confusion around why I need to take an IPRS license. I have taken a license from PPL, I have taken a license from, say, Novex. Do I still need to take a license from IPRS? See, these two licenses are catering to very different rights. The license that you have taken from PPL is for the sound recording. It is going to the label or the owner of the sound recording. But that license is not paying the author-composer. So IPRS license is primarily for the publishing royalty, which is going to the author-composer. So a PPL license or a Novex license or an RMPL license is not a substitute for IPRS license. So these kind of awareness, we are like reaching out to music users, event managers, agencies who are conducting concerts, events, and trying to explain them. And one more important thing is that, see, we cannot have a life without music. No industry, M&A, like the media entertainment industry, we cannot think of an industry without music. One thing I was noticing recently is that in between there was a time when OTT series, there were hardly any music or song in the OTT content or the movies on OTT. But recently, if you see the recent releases, you will see they are having a lot of content, lot of music in those like movies and series. So we have realized that as a country, in our Indian sentiment, we cannot just do away with music. Music plays a magical role in holding to the attention. But if we don't support the creators, if we don't pay the royalties, if we don't take a license, why will a creator be motivated to make music? Tomorrow I will build my career in something else. If I know that my career is so uncertain, I have to beg for my money, I have to wait when my money will come to me, then why will I even bother to have a career as a musician? We have to realize that. It's not like thousands or lakhs or some bucks that I'm saving today. As a user, I need to nurture the future music industry also, so that we are not deprived of music in our coming years.
Also, a couple of crucial points that you made. I think first and foremost, that irrespective of what you sign off in an agreement, if it is against law, okay, it can definitely be challenged. So at this period of time, I think the audience should be made aware that because you want your song to be featured, let's say in a film, for example, the agreements are so tight that you really don't have an opportunity of negotiating. But even if you give up your rights, I think what I'm hearing right now from Rumpa is that if it is against law, if it is against the act, you can always challenge it. And IPRS is there to support you to ensure that whatever income is flowing in your name will still be provided to you. Okay.
So like one thing which we always say, our CEO, Mr. Nigam, he always tells the creators, he supports the creator community and the publisher a lot. He says that you don't spoil your relationship with your stakeholders in the industry. Aap kaam karo, bindas kaam karo. The nasty battle to get your royalties, to fight for your rights, we are doing it day in, day out. So don't worry that. And that is kind of, we can see that in 2017-18, when we closed the financial year, our revenue was 47 crores. This March 2023, this financial year March when we closed at a revenue of 564 crores. So IPRS has been designated as one of the fastest growing copyright societies across in the world. And there is a kind of like a global revenue report that CISAC publishes, and IPRS now stands fourth in the South Asia Pacific countries. Hopefully this year we will be scaling up and becoming third. So though now still a lot of broadcasters are not paying us, the radio stations are not paying us, public performance, only 5% of the public performance is registered. Out of that, 3% they pay and take a license. So just imagine if, as a country, we become compliant, we pay people the money that is due to them, what kind of revenues IPRS will garner, and what kind of monies will go to the creator community in our country. They will all have like islands and palaces for themselves, I hope, those who are successful. So one prayer to all users from this stage, please, let's have a very kind of a thriving industry where you also gain and pay back the people who are helping you to run your business.
No, fabulous. Before we get into question answer, one last final question. You know, people keep talking about AI, generative AI. There's a host of new technology coming in. What is IPRS doing to prepare itself for these ongoing changes for which there is still no law in place?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have seen a major kind of a change in the way the industry is working in the last 3-4 years, in the last 3 years. And IPRS has also rapidly advanced its back-end technology processes. So one very nice thing I want to share, and that gives me a lot of pleasure and happiness, because see, there was a time when our members used to come with bunch of forms and data that these are my 500 songs. Lijiye, isko aap register kijiye. So that they used to just dump, and then one person used to sit and again manually type and feed all those data into our system. So 2020-21 onwards, we started registering all songs online. There is an online format, you go and submit the song online, because that is easy for you, because there will be no kind of manual errors on entries. It will save time, it will be more much efficient. But we know as a country, everyone is not tech savvy. If you consider a person coming from Patna or the interiors of Bihar who is in the Bhojpuri industry, thinking that person can do an Excel sheet and submit will be daunting for him, overwhelming for him. So we conducted extensive workshops, training programs. In office also we have help desk. Karte, they said, no, ye humse nahi ho payega. And we used to tell him, sir, now you are buying food on Swiggy and Zomato. Aap to kabhi nahi karte the na, abhi to karte ho. Haan, karte hai. So I said, if you could learn that, thoda patience rakhiye, aap ye seekh lijiye. They started, lot of ye karte. Last year, we saw a huge jump in people, our members submitting works online. And that gives us enough happiness, because see, it doesn't matter if we are advancing technologically. If we cannot also have our members join that digital transformation, everything we'll do will have no result, because they also have to adapt to the new changes. So now things are changing, on the creator front also. Now coming to your question on AI. See, AI is something which can have benefits, but there are a lot of lobbies, discussions happening at a global stage also. Next month we have a seminar on AI in Bombay. What is happening is that, see, when a content or a generative AI is working, what they are doing is that they are feeding the machine with the works which were already done. Have anyone taken the permission to use the content to educate or develop the AI or the generative AI? That is the first point where everyone is raising a question, and a law should immediately be formed that when you are using somebody else's content to train the machine, royalty or permission, firstly the permission and revenue sharing should start from that stage. So immediately what we need is that we need regulatory bodies to come into play, regulations to be very stringent around how the generative AI is being trained and developed to work in the creative industry. Because once it has happened, then it will be far cry, because then already the machine has got a lot of data. Already that has happened, I think. And we are also telling all creators to stand up and fight for their rights around the generative AI and the AI technology that is working. Because if you don't protect your rights now, future will be very challenging and competitive for you. So our focus should now be to have a proper law in place. All societies across the globe, all creator communities across the globe are strongly lobbying on this. We immediately need a regulation and a law coming in place because see, copyright is for human creation. Nowhere in copyright it has been mentioned about a content or anything being created through machines. Like Paragji, I think you will be able to throw more light on this. Yes. So we need to question that how can a song which is made by a machine be copyrighted, and if it is not copyrighted, then rampant use hoga. Rampant use hoga, then the existence of our creators will be at stake. So now we, all of us who are in a state or in a position to challenge, contest, or have a voice in the industry on this, should be super active to get it in place immediately.
Okay. Do we have any time for question answers? Okay. Please go ahead.
Just talking in continuation to AI, but I don't think so. Like composer will be replaced completely and AI will take, because there has to be somebody to compose even through AI. So,
You want to take the question?
as you were saying, if there is no composer and only AI.
Correct. So I think what Rumpaji has conveyed is effectively what AI is doing. It is borrowing. And unfortunately, it is borrowing without taking rights. Okay? So what Rumpaji and you can come into this conversation is effectively we need laws to be aware that before AI, reaches a situation like when internet was first introduced, when people, because there were no laws to control the internet, you could just download content for free. Okay? The time is right now to learn from the past and have the governments and the lawmakers create a law that today, before artificial intelligence ensures that people who have actually rightfully composed or written lyrics are paid for it, okay? Because if there is no law, it's just going to be beyond any kind of control, where people are going to be creating songs with content which has been created by somebody else. And unfortunately, the original composers and lyricists will then not make money out of it. So the law is required, and it's required immediately.
It's required, and
absolutely. So
I represent like Saya Studio, so I don't think I want a song only from AI. I still want a composer and lyricist who will though feed AI and get his best lyrics out or best composition.
No.
But I would not want to replace my composers and lyricists for sure. So they carry a lot of value, because what is to be composed is the human mind, not only AI working on it.
We are completely in agreement, and trust us, both IPRS and on part of being a lawyer, we are lobbying the government to ensure that before it's too late, act right now and make the appropriate law or an amendment in law to see that the composers, lyricists, and of course, they all are protected.
Okay, I have one more question whenever you allow.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. So first of all, thank you so much for talking about IPRS. For us, it was just about some event guy just asking us for license and asking us if you are registered. We didn't know. So I come from an independent music background. Being 8 years into it, it's not only about tier 2 and tier 3, but tier 1 people also they don't know about it. So I've released about 30 plus songs already. I don't know, of course, we have a distributor, through them we had released it. How can I go and check if they have registered us under IP? After this amazing session, I would want to do this. And we've been mentoring a lot of artists. So I'm back from Pune. We mentor a lot of young artists out there. Like I've helped about at least 15 artists to release their stuff, and we've mentored them to record and release and do everything possible. So I would want to do this a small session once I go back to my town. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
wonderful,
yeah.
and thank you for your interest in like spreading awareness about IPRS. Yeah, let me clear your doubt. Is that, see, your distributor will not register your songs with IPRS. IPRS, only a member of IPRS can register the songs with IPRS. So it can be either the publisher who is owning the rights of the song, or the author composer who can own the right of the song and is also the creator of the song. So the distributor's job is only to distribute your music to all available avenues, platforms, and mediums. You have to join IPRS and get your songs registered. In case you are working with a label or a publisher who is already a member of IPRS, they would have registered your songs with IPRS. So and now you need to join IPRS and just confirm, yes, these are my songs and these belong to me. So immediately those songs will be linked to you also, and you will start getting royalties. So as I had said, like prior in my session, that if you are not a member of IPRS, we will not be able to pay the royalties to you. Even if the monies are being made, they will be either used for some kind of benevolent fund or something, or it will be paid back to the existing members. Because as a society, we cannot hold back to the money post 3 years. So it's, if you are thinking that, yes, you are, and you're seeing that your song is popular, don't waste any further time and join IPRS to get those monies. If we have collected. See, if we have collected, we have to check and we have to pay, because see, if your like publisher is not a member, we will not go and collect.
Sorry, we've run out of time. We'll take your question offline if that's okay.
Sir, it was in continuation with what you said. Just a short question, please.
Sure.
Okay.
How is a human creator different from a generative AI, be it audio, text, or video, where the human creator is getting inspired from past content, he's getting inspired from the content that is being produced using the techniques of the other content creators. The large language models or diffusion models are designed in the way humans think and humans create. So human is also taking content from other people and creating something of his own, or his or her own. So how can you stop AI from doing that?
You take this question.
Okay. Relevant question. And in fact, this is one of the things that needs to be addressed, because at the end of the day, there are two aspects to your composition. Yes, there's a human, which is what IPRS is representing. But at the same time, you are sitting, let's say, in front of your laptop, and you are composing content on your own, or as the case is, you are utilizing content which is already available somewhere in the cyberspace. Who then becomes the owner? Okay, because you are still providing your own inputs. It could be in terms of a beat, it could be in terms of an instrumentation, whatever it is. So this is definitely a gray area, and we are looking forward to the government and the lawmakers to provide some light that how do we protect both sides, both parties. So with you all the way. Okay.
Thanks, Rumpa. Thanks, Parag. I'd like to call on stage Satyendra Mira. He's a group director for Nuremberg Messe to hand over mementos.
Lovely questions. I think that was
Thank you so much for this opportunity. One group picture, please.